Dumezano, buenas noches, lengua nativa.
Good evening in my native language.
Nosotros fuimos dejados, el universo es como un cuerpo humano, como un cuerpo.
The universe is like the human body.
Dentro del cuerpo no existen divisiones de países, de fronteras, no, todo es una integralidad.
Within the body, there exists no divisions. There's no separations. Everything is it's integral.
Por eso nosotros somos seres universales.
Therefore, we say we are beings, universal beings.
Y todos los que estamos en este universo fuimos dejados para cumplir unas misiones en ese universo grande.
And we were all left in the universe to fulfill a mission in this big universe.
Entonces es importante saber que estamos en un gran despertar de conciencia.
Therefore, it is very important to understand that we are in this great awakening of consciousness.
Ahora ese despertar de conciencia hay que ordenarlo.
Now, let's bring order to this awakening of consciousness.
Y ese orden se debe dar volviendo a encontrarte, volviendo a tu espíritu, a reconocerte a ti mismo.
And that order begins with recognizing your own spirit, coming back to your spirit.
Por eso nosotros fuimos dejados en esta montaña que se llama el espíritu del corazón del mundo.
Therefore, we were left in this mountain called the spirit of the heart of the world.
El espíritu del corazón del mundo.
The spirit of the heart of the world.
Pues tenemos que saber cuál es el espíritu de nosotros. El espíritu de nosotros es la sombra.
We must understand what the spirit is within us. The spirit within us is la sombra. It's the shadow.
Nosotros fuimos dejados para guardianar la claridad desde la sombra, desde el espíritu.
We were left to guard the shadow from the spirit and bring clarity to the earth, to the world.
No fue que no queríamos salir de la montaña.
It is not that we didn't want to go out of the mountain.
No salíamos porque sabíamos que nuestra misión es guardianar para siempre el espíritu de todo lo que existe en el universo.
We did not go out of the mountain because our mission was to guard the spirit of the part of the world and guardianar.
El espíritu de todo lo que existe en el universo.
And guard the spirit of all that exists in the universe.
Decidimos salir porque nos damos cuenta de que nos estamos alejando del espíritu.
We decided to come out of the mountain because we noticed there is. ¿Por qué decidieron?
Decidimos salir porque vemos que los seres se están alejando del espíritu.
Because we observe that the beings are separating from their spirit, their own spirit. There is a disruption between the beings and their spirit.
¿Y qué es alejarnos del espíritu? Es alejarnos de la vida simple.
And what does that mean? What does it mean to separate your being separated from their spirit? That means that they forgot to live simple.
La humanidad está construyendo una vida que no pertenece a ese espíritu universal.
Humanity is designing a world that does not belong to the spirit. It's not the origin of the spirit.
Y eso nos lleva a pensar, a construir miedos, a vivir sobre ansiedades, envidias, guerras, la cual no nos pertenece porque somos seres de vida.
And that disorder is it's separating the spirit, and therefore there's war, there is this disconnection of earth, and there is this disconnection of the spirit and our lives, simple lives.
Y la vida de volver al espíritu es volver a entender la madre tierra, volver a entender el universo.
And And the way to return to the spirit is going back to nature, to earth, understanding the simple life, which is connecting to earth.
Conocer el espíritu es volver a leer la tierra, la madre tierra, es volvernos a leer nosotros.
Coming back to spirit is understanding and connecting with nature, learning to read nature. That brings you back to spirit.
And to read yourself.
And to read yourself.
Por eso desde el lenguaje del espíritu, desde el lenguaje de la sombra, siempre hemos sabido que el hombre nunca ha ido a la luna. El hombre, desde la ciencia, nunca ha ido a la luna. Desde el espíritu, todos hemos ido a la luna.
Therefore, our people say that humanity never went to the physical human didn't go to the moon. We have always been to the moon. Our spirit has always been connected to the moon.
Porque la definición que la ciencia da sobre la luna es una definición que no está conectada con el espíritu.
Because the definition that science gives us about the moon is completely separated and not in alignment with what the spirit is saying.
La definición que la ciencia da sobre la tierra es la misma definición que da sobre el hombre, sobre la mujer, sobre la vida que no hace parte de esa creación universal.
The scientific world gives us a different definition about the world, about the moon, about our bodies, about feminine and masculine energy. It's completely separated from what the origin is and what the spirit is saying.
La luna llena simboliza el orden del pensamiento lógico.
Full moon symbolizes the order of the logic thinking.
Por eso está allá en el universo, en el cosmos.
Therefore, it's over there in the cosmos, above the universe.
La luna nueva es asumir el orden.
The new moon represents taking responsibility.
La luna creciente es el orden de lo negativo.
The crescent moon means the order of the negativity.
Y la luna menguante es el orden de lo positivo. Que va bajando.
The opposite of the crescent, I don't know the word, symboliza lo positivo.
El orden de lo positivo.
The order of the positive.
Entonces la luna para nosotros es la representación de todo ese movimiento energético del universo.
So therefore, the cycle of the moon represents the order of the world and the energy of how the world is moving.
Tanto calentamiento que hay en el planeta en este momento es porque nos desconectamos de la luna.
The world is suffering because we're so disconnected to the moon cycle, and therefore we see the impact in global warming.
Si no volvemos a conectarnos con la luna, el calentamiento cada día va a ser más intenso.
If we don't return back to connecting with the moon cycle, then the earth and the global warming is going to increase.
La luna es la que regula la brisa, la que regula la lluvia, la que regula los estados emocionales de la humanidad.
The moon is what regulates the state of humanity, and also it regulates the weather, the water, the wind, and the emotional aspect of the humans.
Estas meditaciones para bajar las guerras y los odios en la humanidad, hay que dirigírselo a la luna porque desde ahí es donde todo está en una frecuencia distinta.
Therefore, these gatherings that we come together and meditate, we must connect it to the moon cycle because this is what brings, porque eso es lo que trae.
Que está como desarticulando la frecuencia.
Because this is what brings order to the frequency of the world.
La luna se llama, en mi lengua se llama Tima.
The moon in the language, the native language is Hamatima.
¿Y Tima qué quiere decir? La afirmación de todo lo que se regula en las frecuencias del estado universal del pensamiento.
And Dima symbolizes the affirmation of todo lo que simboliza. Dima
La frecuencia es universal del pensamiento.
symbolizes the order of the frequency of the thought forms in the world.
Entonces, todo el concepto científico que se le da a la luna, ese día supimos nosotros que el hombre nunca físicamente ha ido a la luna, porque la luna no existe físicamente, existe en espíritu, porque es la representación de todo lo que hay en el universo.
So therefore, having all this knowledge in mind, when they heard about the men going into the moon in the physical form, they all kind of joked and laughed about it, and they're like, yeah, the men, went to the moon physically, but it's completely disconnected to what really means to connect to the earth, to the moon, and what the moon represents on earth.
Nosotros somos la luna.
We are the moon.
¿Para qué quiero ir a la luna si yo soy la luna? Si yo soy el sol.
Why do I have to go physically up there to the moon when I am the moon and I am the sun? It's within me.
Entonces las meditaciones, por eso se dice hay que volver al espíritu.
Therefore, we encourage everyone to come back to the spirit, and this is why meditations are good.
Y ese orden nos tiene que decir, si nosotros volvemos al espíritu, vamos a saber que nosotros somos los que podemos cambiar, ordenar esta nueva evolución del universo. Más nadie lo puede hacer.
And therefore, when we come back to spirit, and bring back to consciousness, we realize that we are the ones who are able and capable of bringing back to the frequencies of the earth in order. We can put the world in order by meditating and coming together.
Y esa evolución está en esta simplicidad, en volver a meditar desde el espíritu.
And that evolution is happening with the simplicity of coming together and from spirit, coming from spirit.
Para reflejar lo que nosotros queremos que se dé en este universo.
So that we can reflect what we want in the universe.
Entonces, la luna llena para nosotros simboliza eso,
So
esa claridad del orden del pensamiento.
So that's what the full moon represents to us, the clarity of the clarity and organization of the thought forms.
Hoy nuestro pensamiento tiene que estar ahí.
So today our thought forms needs to be up there.
Para que se pueda enviar a todo el mundo para ordenar después eso.
So that when we send our thought forms to the moon, we can bring order to the entire universe.
Ese es mi compartir. Muchas gracias.
And that is what I want to share. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
I would like to just expand on that a little bit with some easy ways to sort of organize the cycle of the moon, and that's through following the Mayan calendar, which follows exactly the cycle of the moon, which is 28 days, right? Which is we had that calendar before the Gregorian Caesar emperor changed it, and that was very purposely done to get us out of order, and so just by following, two calendars for now, we have to, still know society and all that stuff, but also just become, it's very basic, very easy, and all women know this because, they follow that cycle, obviously, with, their menstrual cycle, and men follow, their cycle is actually tied to the sun cycle. And so that's just some simple ways to kind of begin to understand and start attuning yourself to the real cycle of the planet. And events like this are key for these, we're doing this kind of without knowing all this information, but here we are doing it. So we know this information, we're subconsciously following. You showed up here, you drove from wherever you did all the way, parked wherever you had to. So that shows effort, and it shows that we have this knowledge within us. Thank you.
Kandy and his lineage and the wisdom of the ancestral lineage that he has come to this gathering with such an amazing well of wisdom, with incredible transmissions of the heart of Mother Gaia, of the Sierra Nevada in Colombia, to all of your lineage, to all of the ancestors, to all of the frequency that you've been holding together and spreading this knowledge. I bow down to you. Thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing your wisdom. What a gift to have you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Deep gratitude. And thank you for all the sharings. Thank you for all the sharings. And there's a lot of I can see like Mayan tradition came online, and the ancient Colombian wisdom came through, and the Hebrew words came through. So there's a lot of wisdom that has been flowing, and may it be integrated for all of us. May we carrying on, and there's so much more treasures will be unfolding from this conversation, from these experiences. Just keep on listening. There's in that silence we can hear a lot of new information that is, kind of like coming through and teaching us. There is the Spirit is always gives us the breadcrumbs, and there's a golden thread that we can always follow. And there's two elements that we kind of at the very beginning of our circle offered you to take a candle and bring that fire home, that fire that we ignited here, and that water that which I also have charged today with this DNA, with this knowledge and with this wisdom. We're gonna put it also by the kitchen where the food is, so feel free to drink from it or put it into your water, mix it with your water, so you can we can keep mixing the waters and connecting the DNA and remembering where we come from and following, flowing and following.
Было или не было, жили мы во лжи, судьбу себе придумали над пропастью воржи. Все время что-то ищем, все время что-то ждем, в очередном смятении по течению плывем. Надеемся, что вынесет и к берегу прибьет, что лучшее останется, а худшее уйдет, что вновь не повторятся ошибки прошлых лет, сомнениям подвергаться.